So it started at the start of this year, and everyone was asking each other what they wanted for their birthday because most people were turning 21 and it was a pretty big deal. And I could not for the life of me figure out what I wanted. Usually I would have one thing in mind, but this year I really didn't want anything because I was happy with everything I had. And I realized my family tends to give back to charity every year, and they usually give back a lot. And so I thought maybe this year, instead of taking something, I would try and raise money for charity and give back. And I thought about it, and I wanted to make it interesting. I wanted to do something physical, try and push my physical boundary. And I really like running, but I'm a short distance sprinter. I'm a 100-meter sprinter. I can't even do 200 because my endurance is that low. And so I thought, hey, maybe I can run 100 kilometers to try and raise awareness and raise money for charity, specifically for children, because that's a charity that we've always donated to because we came from that side. We experienced what they're experiencing, and we want to try and give back. So yeah, I wanted to run 100 kilometers, and that's where the idea came from. 100 kilometers in 10 days. I'm so grateful for everyone who donated, everyone for their support. It's been an unbelievable journey. Honestly, 10 days went by so quick now I think about it, but I remember thinking to myself, like, why is this day not going away? I just want this to be over. It was that bad, but I'm glad it happened. But yeah, I definitely want to thank Don and Danny for doing all the filming, and Justin as well for the filming.
Day one, 10 kilometers from house to city. 68 minutes is my personal best. Let's see how well I do.
Day one was pretty much the trial day, working out all the kinks, making sure everything was working. There was a lot of kinks. Day one was also one of the 2 days where I had a stitch. I could not get rid of the stitch. I got it around halfway through and it was not going away. It was really annoying to deal with. I had to get home and then I had to research why I got a stitch. But I was able to figure it out, so it didn't happen again until one other day, much later on. Finishing on the first day was really exciting, honestly. The fact that I was able to do the 10K gave me the confidence that I might be able to do this every day for the next 10 days. Now on the first day, I had so much support and help around me. I wasn't that tired. I was definitely very excited. And Justin was running with me in the last 15 meters, and it was definitely very exciting. It felt like I was finishing a race because he was running with me. I think that's why a lot of people decided to join me in the race as well in the upcoming days, because yeah, it's very motivating. So after day one completed, I was about 60% sore. Again, I wasn't really thinking about the pain, more about just the journey I was taking. So day two was in the city. I ran clockwise around the city. We started a bit later, so the last 20 minutes was pretty much completely in the dark. It wasn't as bad as it would have been because we did it during rush hour and there was a lot of traffic, which meant I was at a red light for a lot of the time, which gave me an opportunity to stop. So at the end of day 2, when I was running in the dark, and I got a notification on my phone and I looked at it as I was running, and it was a donation from someone, and that donation made me realize what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and it continued to motivate me. And so if it wasn't for that donation, I would have died by the end of day 2. And so I was realizing that it was actually making a difference. I think it was Stalin who messaged me and he said, "Oh, what you're doing is awesome, keep it up." It was very motivating. It was all these little things that adds up. It's not just about the physical ability to run. And I realized that at the end of day 2.
Say hi.
No.
Speak.
So day 4, I remember at the start thinking to myself, okay, this is day 4 out of 10 days. It started to get a bit more daunting again. I ran from city to Woodville. Again, it felt daunting because it wasn't ending. Every time I would check my update to see how far I ran, it would say like 3.6 and then 4.2, and it would just not end. That's when I realized I should not be looking at the time that often. So day 4 is also when we met up at the finish point, and from the finish point we would drive back to the start, and so then I would run from the finish to from the start to the finish. And we were joking around a lot, saying like, wow, we have to run all this. It was definitely funny because it wasn't ending. Even in the car, it would take like 20 minutes to drive from the finish to the start, and so I kept thinking, wow, if it takes 20 minutes to drive, it's going to take me like 3 hours to finish. A lot of the running, to try and not make it too boring, Don, as the main filmer, he would just sprint by me with the camera recording me, and I always just smile or laugh at him. It was just really funny to see. At times he would put down the camera and then try and run with me for like a couple hundred meters, and then he would stop and just walk back all the way back to his camera.
Let's go day 5 from, I think, Woodville to North Haven, 10 kilometers. It's kind of raining, but it's fine, we've got hoodies. Let's do this.
So day 5, my friend Sigil ran with me. This was the second time a friend is joining me on the race. It was a very cold, windy, and rainy day. It was not the best day to run, but we were very consistent with the days of running, so we had to do day 5. It was from Woodville all the way up to North Haven, I think. Yeah, so 10K was a very straight line. It would have been very boring if it wasn't for my friend just annoying me on the side. It was also a lot of these friends who came with me to run with me, they didn't do any training, so it was exhausting for them to try and run 10K. And so majority of the time I would just be motivating them to complete the 10K. But that was good because it distracted me from the pain I was going through. I realized that on day 5 because it was raining, it was cold, and it was windy. It was pouring down rain by the end of day 5. The time definitely flew by really quickly because most of that day I was just motivating my friend to keep pushing. I didn't feel like stopping during the rain because if we stopped, we would get more wet. Slowing down would just keep us more wet, so we were trying to get to the finish line as soon as possible. So I was pretty much dragging my friend the entire 10Ks. Yeah, it was interesting to see how my friends reacted to the 10K run per day, and for a lot of them it was their first time running 10K, so it was a big accomplishment for them too.
Feeling pretty good. Day 5 down, halfway through.
Day 5 down. How was the run?
It was frustrating.
Frustrating.
Running with him is frustrating.
Okay, let's go. Day 6. Day 6, right? Yeah, day 6. We're running from North Haven all the way around to Semaphore Beach, I think.
Yep.
And you have something to say?
Day 6 was the complete opposite of day 5, where it was cold, windy, and rainy. Day 6 was very hot, and it was the only day where we ran in the morning, and I got less than 12 hours of rest, which obviously impacted the way I ran. It was much slower. But yeah, I ran day 6 with Navina, so she came and ran with me again. It was nice views, got very hot because it ended up being midday by the time we finished. I remember from the 5-kilometer mark to 8 kilometers, we had a really fast pace going, both Navina and I. So that time went by really quick, and we actually finished, I think, 1 hour and 16 minutes. So that's 78 minutes, which was one of the best times so far. So because Navina was nice enough to run the second time with me, she was really tired because obviously not much training, which is fair. And so we would have to sort of make checkpoints.
I don't know how long it keeps up. With her. You're doing great, you're doing great.
And so we would say, okay, we run the next 500 meters and then we walk the next 50 after that, just so she can catch her breath, and just gives me a chance to catch my breath too. That definitely helped, having these checkpoints, because not only did it seem like we were actually progressing, it also gave us a chance to cool down and then regain ourselves.
How was it?
Pretty good. Our goal was to finish under 1 hour and 40, and then midway through, I pushed her to finish under 1
You pushed her?
We ended up doing it 1 hour 20, so.
Oh! Navina, do you have anything to add to that?
Absolutely not. I'm
Wait, my car's right there.
You do the hokey pokey.
And that's what it's all over.
That's what it's all about.
Featuring Navina. Day 7, let's go. From Semaphore to Henley Beach, pretty much 10K. It's very cold, but I got Danny running with me today, so let's do it.
Let's go.
So day 7 was when Danny ran with me, and we ran from Semaphore to Glenelg, I think. This was really hard. For some reason, it was one of the hardest days because it was very windy and cold. I remember we were running down to Glenelg and the wind was coming towards us, which meant we were running really, really slow, and it was really hard to try and run towards the wind. Definitely by the end of day 7, everything was numb. My fingers were numb, my face was numb, everything was numb. And the same goes for Danny as well. We were just so cold by the end of it. We couldn't feel anything. Everything was just numb, like my quads, my calves, my back, everything was numb, so I couldn't feel the pain. But I could feel it if I would have pressed my leg or something, the pain just came back immediately. So I tried not to do that. So there was a section during day 7 where we ran near the water, on the actual beach itself. It felt really good because it was a very straight line, it was a very nice view. It just felt very satisfying to run that. So when running with Danny, he wanted to quit by the 5 kilometer mark. He was very ready. He was 100% set on quitting after the 5 kilometer mark, but I definitely wanted to push him because he's never ran 10k before, just like pretty much everyone I ran with. They've never ran 10k in one go. And so I definitely tried to push him, try to use little tactics, convince him, run the next 600 meters and then you walk. Just to do everything I can. And he managed to pull through. He ran 9k and then he realized there's only 1k left, so he ended up running the last k as well, even though he was completely numb. So yeah.
How was it?
It was so easy, man. I only collapsed a couple of times. I got pins and needles twice. I couldn't feel my foot.
City to Bay. Do you guys wanna?
Oh yeah?
You wanna join?
I'm not running again.
70 kilometers down.
Let's go!
Alright, give me like 5 burgers and like 2 chips.
What's up, guys? We're on day 8 of the 100 kilometers. Today we're going to be trying for time, trying to get it under an hour, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, go get it. Peace.
How are you feeling?
Pretty good.
So on day 8, I ran with Don, and he's quite athletic, quite sporty, and so he was very determined to try and run the 10k sub 60, so under 60 minutes, which I've never done before, even before training, never. But I wanted to try it because my body was pretty much numb, so I wanted to try and get that goal. But unfortunately, everything that could go wrong pretty much went wrong. I think it was about 3 kilometers in, I got a stitch from running, and that stitch would not go away. So this is the last time I got a stitch. I did all the little tactics to try and get rid of it, and it was not going away. It stayed until, I would say, the next 3.5 to 4 kilometers, which meant I was pretty much walking. It was so much pain. I couldn't do anything about it, and I was very disappointed in myself as well because I wanted to make the sub 60, which we unfortunately didn't end up doing. Even though we were running at a pace of like 12 to 13 kilometers per hour, we couldn't do sub 60. 7 to 8 kilometers in, I ended up spraining my left ankle, which now, days after the 100k is done, it's still sprained and it's still injured. So I sprained my left ankle, but that was physical pain I was able to push through compared to a stitch, which is, it's a different kind of pain. It's not something you can push through. It's a barricade that I just couldn't get over. So I had to wait patiently for it to calm down. And then the last 2 kilometers, we were pretty much running at 15 kilometers per hour with my injured ankle. So even though we didn't run 60 minutes, we ran 66 minutes. So it's about 6 minutes over time. And for the entire duration of the run, Don was definitely very motivating. He was motivating me for most of it. And he did not look like he was tired at all. So it was very hard on me mentally, because I felt like I was letting him down, because we both wanted to get sub 60. And so by the end of it, I was very disappointed. But he was very understanding, and obviously he didn't, say anything bad. He was just happy that he was able to complete the 10K as well. And, we got through it in one piece. Yeah, we didn't try doing sub 60 again, because at that point, my ankle was still injured and I was not sure if I was gonna be able to run the next day. Yeah, it was that bad. I could not walk when I got home. But, my parents were also supportive. They helped me stitch it up, put some medicine on it. And yeah, so on the last stretch on day 8, the last kilometer, I would say, we crossed this gentleman who was on a wheelchair, and he was just going in the same direction as us. And I didn't pay much attention to him, but it was only after the race where Don told me that he realized this man was on a wheelchair, and he realized that he was running instead. And he felt grateful that he actually had legs and he was able to run and do this fundraiser as well. And so that gave him that motivated him to keep running. And I didn't realize that motivation came through from that one person. So it was amazing to see.
I didn't have a stitch, we could have done it, man. I think I sprained my ankle really hard on my left leg.
When I get married, the first thing I'm going to do is run with my wife. It's a really good bonding thing to do, run with someone for a really long distance.
What is up, guys? We're on day 9 of the 100-kilometer challenge. I've got a lot of these guys joining me: Danny, Hannah, Navina, and Shania. We're going from, I think, south of Glenelg to Henley. So we'll see how we go. See you later. Let's go.
So day 9 morning, I woke up and I could not walk down the stairs at all. My ankle was that injured and I did not want to move it at all. Stitching it up, putting a lot of padding helped keep it in place. And because of the shoes the guys got me, it actually helped me with running as well. On that day, a lot of people ran with me. I think it was Navina, Shania, Hannah, Danny, Justin, and Don. They all ran with me, which is crazy. We were just a huge group of people running. And on the second last day, I needed that because I was in so much pain with my ankle. My initial thought was, okay, I'm gonna walk this because I physically can't run. But about 20 minutes into walking, I think adrenaline started kicking in and I couldn't feel the pain as much. And so I was able to run. And we actually ended up running the entire way through for the final 8 kilometers, which is crazy. And we actually did sub 90 minutes as well, which is unbelievable because I did not think I was going to do that. I thought it was going to actually take 3 to 4 hours, but because of everyone motivating each other, it went by so quick and it was amazing. It was just an amazing experience to run with everyone, you know.
Hey guys, so what I did was, because this will be Thursday will be the last day for Mikhail's run, I decided to get all of his close friends and randomly get them to join in the last kilometer, just to like give them that last motivation and just be like a little surprise for him. So I got a couple people involved. They'll be ready in their positions, and then as he's running, his friends are just going to randomly join in, and hopefully if it all goes to plan, Mikhail will love it and it'll be a good finale to the 100 kilometers. So yeah, fingers crossed that everything goes to plan.
What is up, guys? We are on the final day, day 10 of the 100 kilometer run challenge. And yeah, we're traveling from Henley to Semaphore, I think. But yeah, either way, it's raining, it's cold. We just want to get this done, but hopefully we can end strong. Let's go.
Okay, so day 10, it was me and Don who ran, and I thought that was it. But I was in for a little surprise as we ran through. I remember at the initial stages of day 10, I was thinking to myself, wow, this is it, the final stretch. I've done 90 kilometers, and this is the final 10K, and I was just so excited. I could not feel any pain at all anywhere. That might be because everything was numb, but I didn't want to think of it that way. I just thought of it because I was just so happy that we managed to get through this. So I messaged a lot of people the day before day 10 to see if they could join me on the final run, because I wanted to get as many people as I could. But a lot of people were unavailable, and Don was the only one who could run with me. It was okay. I wasn't upset per se. I mean, if people are busy, but I think I was just more grateful that, you know, these guys were able to run with me on the previous days, and I was on the last day, so I was just really happy.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
So yeah, I definitely didn't see it coming, but I was still running, so I didn't really stop. But it was good that she scared us, and then she started running with us immediately, and I was sort of confused, and I kept asking her a lot of questions like, oh, where'd you park? How'd you find us? I was just really confused to see her run with us. But then again, she tends to do some of these surprise things, so I sort of low-key was like okay with it. I was like, oh, this is awesome. She joined. So around 8 kilometers in, I was the pacemaker for that run, so I was leading the pack, you could say.
No way! What's up?
No way.
What the hell are you doing here? What are you doing here? Man, it took me so fucking long to get here, man. What the hell are you doing?
And at one point, I looked left, and out of nowhere, I just see Chung's face. It startled me. I was really confused, because I was like, what? Why is he here? I hadn't talked to Chung in a while. It was very surprising to see his face, and I realized he was running the last 2K with me as well, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. No, I was definitely very happy he could show up, because as we were running, he was telling me that he had to wait like an hour or two for the bus just to come up to the beach side where we were running. So I was very thankful, and he even intended on catching the bus back home, which would have taken a couple more hours, which is silly, so we obviously were able to drop him off. But it was crazy to see how much he went through to try and just run with me for the last 2K, so I was really, really thankful. Group, and I started noticing some white flashes in the corner of my eye, and I'm very focused on my running, so I was very confused by what the white flashing is, and I turned back, and I see Midden, and Midden just shows up in full white. And I was again at that point really confused as to like, where did he come from? How did he get here? I think I was more distracted by the fact that he was just wearing full white for no reason. But yeah, look, at that point I realized what was happening, and it occurred to me that way back a couple months ago, Don had the idea of people joining the run as I would run on the final day, and I remember he said it wasn't going to happen and it couldn't happen, but somehow he actually managed to make it work. And so I didn't want to look out for it because I didn't want to, intentionally ruin the surprise. But in the far distance, I ended up seeing Danya and Hannah hiding, waiting for me to run by so they could catch up.
They're not very good. That was kind of funny. Did they expect me to not look forward? I wonder where it could be. Wow, what's up guys? I totally didn't see you there.
And so I made a comment saying like, oh yeah, they're not very good at hiding. And then obviously everyone behind me was aware of where they were, and they all ended up laughing. It was good. It was very exciting. At this point, Don, Midden, and I ended up actually separating from the pack, sort of. We ran about 50 to 100 meters ahead. We started running a bit faster because it was the last stretch. I remember Don coming up to me and saying, keep running, you'll know when you're done. And I was really confused and concerned because basically I couldn't see anything in front of me, so I was very concerned. But I kept running straight ahead, and out of nowhere, Anushka and Hosanna pop up. Cheering me on, and I was the final 200 meters, I think, and I could see the finish line in front of me. It was a blue ribbon laid out in a finish line format. And as soon as I finished, so many emotions went through me. Honestly, I was so overwhelmed, and I was so happy that so many people were able to show up, and I was able to complete this 100K challenge. I remember being on the ground and looking up and just seeing everyone standing there just cheering me on at the end. I was just so happy and so thankful that these guys could show up. So many emotions went through me, man. It was crazy. I really can't describe how many emotions were going through me. I was happy, I was sad, I was thankful. It was just unbelievable. And to top it off, they said there was a dinner as well. So even though I thought there wasn't going to be a celebration, I was surprised, and obviously there was a celebration, and we had a dinner. During the dinner, people were obviously conversing with each other as well, and I was able to look at everyone, and I was just like, wow, we did it. We ran 100K, and I was just looking at everyone who was there to support me and help me as well. And obviously for, all the support I got outside of that as well. A lot of people messaging me, motivating me to keep going. I'm just so thankful for all of them, and my parents as well. My dad wasn't very supportive at the start. He was barely supportive at the end, but I remember on the final day, I was in so much pain, I didn't want to go. My dad, he looked at me and he was like, just do it, just get it done. It wasn't much, but it was the final push I needed to start that final day and finish that final day as well. It all hit me again that we were able to actually raise so much money. The goal was $1,000, and by the end we actually got up to $917, which is unbelievably crazy. So many people helped to donate for Save the Children, and I was just so happy that we could actually make this difference. Don was sitting next to me, and he actually showed me an email from Save the Children, and he actually emailed them about what we were doing, and they sort of they basically wrote a letter saying how grateful they are and what a good thing we did. And that obviously hit at the right time. He showed me at the right time, because it was then I was realizing like what we did is so good. I'm so happy we did it. And I'm so happy for everyone's support and everyone who's able to help out as well. That donation link is always going to be open. We always need to keep donating, because these children have no one else. I think it's sort of our responsibility to try and help them if we're at a good place in our life where we can donate. So I want to thank, honestly, everyone who supported me, everyone who ran with me, everyone who donated, everyone who messaged me on Instagram, who don't even know me. It actually had a big difference to what happened. And I just want to thank everyone for all the support. This would not have happened without you guys. There was a lot of hard work put behind this video, and obviously if you want to see more of this content where we try and do good things, we try and make a difference, it would mean a lot if you could support us by liking or commenting. It definitely means a lot to us. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a crazy journey full of so many adventures, and yeah, hopefully we can keep doing more of these in the future. Thank you for watching.